Hey guys, and welcome back to Regrexit, Brexit Britain, a country whose Prime Minister is a knucklehead clown who's running a circus, according to the darn French. Also, guys, welcome back to By Any Means Necessary. Thank you so much for all your messages you sent me, and a special thanks here to everyone who signed up to my channel. I feel so blessed with so much people that have signed up, so thank you so much for that. I'll go through all your messages and I'll answer as many as I can, but I will like all the messages for definite. So this weekend just gone, we've had all the football teams do a special tribute, to young Arthur Labinjo-Hughes. Right, obviously, young Arthur Hughes was the one who was murdered by his stepmom and his real dad, right? And so you know, obviously, it's one of the it's obviously going to be the this year's worst story that has come out, right? That particular one, because we all know what the death, just the death of a child is like, but let alone that the killing and the torturing of a child is something that the whole world just finds completely unacceptable. But it's a societal problem, and as we have a problem with with just a shortages, so much shortages of staff. Do you know what I mean? That, like, I know we're all going to hold the social services at fault, right? And we're going to hold the police at fault, right? But we've got to remember that after the austerity that we've been through, right, and all these services being cut all over the place, right? This is the type of thing that can happen, right? But we have to make sure that this type of thing doesn't happen again. We've got to make sure, that we all remember Arthur Hughes's name, right? In the same way, that we remember Victoria Columbier, right, or Baby P, Little Peter Connolly, right? In the same way we remember those names, right? We have to remember all these children that have been, that you know, just had, just a disgusting life where, and then to be murdered, at the end of it, when you say at the end of it, at, 6 years old, is nowhere near where the end of it should be. Do you know what I mean? You could put 100 years on that, so it's just a very, very sad, very, very sad time. Do you know what I mean? So we all must remember, his name, Arthur Hughes. All we all must remember that name. So now, do you know what? Yeah, it's only about an hour ago or so, right? That the thought come to me, that what is global Britain? Has anyone ever stopped to question what actual global Britain actually means? Global Britain, because they keep saying it to us, like, oh, global Britain, global Britain. But you think, well, hasn't Britain got a footprint just all over the world? In their British footprint, just all over the world. I mean, in most countries, English is the second language, right? So doesn't that mean that Britain is global? I mean, what does global Britain actually mean? Now, just question yourself to that. What does global Britain actually mean? What does it mean, global Britain? Right? Because you go to, if you were to go to America, right, you'll find plenty of shops, right, who sell English products, right? I mean, just English products, right? You'll find in America, you'll find fish and chip shops, English fish and chip shops, right? You'll find all these things. Right? There might not be in every corner, but you'll still find these things, right? In every corner of the world, right, you have a part of. There's going to be a part of Britain. I mean, Spain. Spain. There's parts of Spain where people don't speak Spanish. Could you imagine that being in this country, right? Parts of Britain where nobody actually speaks English. I know they might say it all the time. Oh, no, can't English be spoken, right? But it's just nonsense because there's no parts of England, right, where people don't speak English, right? There's no part of England where people don't speak English, right? But there are parts of Spain, right, that is purely English speaking, purely, right? You go anywhere in the world, right, and people know about Britain, right? Our monarchy are the most famous people on the fucking planet. Okay? Do you realise, right, that you could have every A-list celebrity in the world, right? Every A-list celebrity in the world in one room, right? The Queen walk in there and every camera turns on the Queen. Okay? Every camera. Barack Obama could be standing in there, right? And every camera is going to turn to our Queen. So tell me, right, what part of global Britain are these people actually selling you? What is global Britain? What is it? Please give me some comments below, yeah, for you to tell me what's global Britain that Britain doesn't already do, right? And are they just not selling us a moonshot, right, or something that's perhaps? Let me just think of. I'm just going to think of something off the top of my head, something that perhaps is world beating. Right? Or, how about a world-class police force? The same police force, right, that said to Arthur Hughes's uncle, right, if you go back to that house, we're going to arrest you, right, for breaking COVID rules. Laws. That's what they said to him. Okay? Our world beating police service. This is how Priti Patel always explains it. Our world beating police force service. She always explains it like that. It's world beating. The same world beating police service, yeah, who stood outside 10 Downing Street letting people into a party, right, when they was breaking, the police officers was also breaking the law. Right? They're also breaking by allowing that party to go on. They're also breaking the law. They might not have broken any rules because there was obviously social distancing, wasn't they? Right? And they're always wearing masks. And I'm quite sure the only party games they was playing, they could play from 2 feet apart. Right? I'm quite sure of that. I'm sure they wasn't playing Twister. Right? Anyway, right? So yeah, so said, right, what is global Britain? Have you questioned that to find that to yourself? You know what? I'll tell you, this is what global Britain is. I'll tell you what global Britain is. Here, John, this is what global Britain is. Okay? This, and this. Ribsy. This, and this is global Britain. Because I think I've just told you what global Britain is. Right? Our Queen is the most famous person. Our Queen is the most famous person in the world. Right? Everybody knows our currency was one of the greatest. The sterling was the greatest currency in the world. Right? Up until you fools decided, you know what, you wanted to leave the EU. Up until then, right, sterling, right, even though, right, it had taken a good kicking, for years, because there was once upon a time, yeah, where the pound was like £3, it was $3 to the pound. Do you know what I'm saying? So so you can see how much of a good kicking the pound has taken over the past probably 50 years. Do you know what I mean? As to where it is now, right? But you have to ask yourself, yeah, what is global Britain? Because they keep selling it to you. They keep saying to you, oh yeah, global Britain, we want to be global Britain. And, some people say, oh yeah, that sounds all right, global Britain, yeah. But it doesn't mean anything. We're already global Britain. We was always global Britain. We was an empire at one stage, so we was always global Britain. Always. Right? You realise, that, the most of the Caribbean islands, right, are run off of the British structure. Yeah. You go around the world. You go around the world on a lot of their their parliaments or their senates. They're run off of the British structure, right? As I'm saying, right? Global Britain, right? Second language in most countries, English. How is Britain not global? How do you allow them to do this to you? How do you allow them to sell you that? Because that's what they're doing. They're selling you it, right? They're just selling you a load of bullshit nonsense. But anyway, right? So now we've got they're coming with some new diversion tactics. Do you know what I mean? Because what they're doing is they're just saying, you know what, everything else, yeah, we're just fucking up with everything else. So we have to just throw in something to try and divert these fools, right? So they don't think about, they don't look over there. Because if they look over there, then they're going to see what we're doing over there, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to just throw them some red meat over here, and it's the drugs now. Like, well, we're going to go after middle class drug users. Right. So if you've got a friend at a party, if you're at a dinner party, right, and someone whacks out, a joint, right, a few lines of cocaine, right, or heroin, which by the way, yeah, is would be completely unacceptable for you to whack out heroin at a dinner party, right? That would be completely unacceptable. Okay, right, but what they're saying, yeah, is if someone, if someone was to take out, a joint or some cocaine at a dinner party, right, then what you should do, you should phone Kit Malthouse, you should phone the police because it's a police matter. So you should phone the police on your on the dinner party guests, right, who do these things. Give me a fucking break. Do these people, seriously, are these people? You just have to wonder what the hell these people are on. You have to wonder, what are you seriously on? Right? Do you realise, right, that the drug business, right, worldwide, right, is worth over $2 trillion? Right? Now just think about that, right? And I want you to think about that, yeah, in a logical way, right? Do you think, right, there is anybody, right, who can stop a £2 trillion business? I mean, you right, are pissing in the wind. You're pissing towards the wind. Okay, the wind's coming in your face, and you're pissing that way. Okay, you're trying to push water uphill with a fork. Okay, it's the most ridiculous thing that you could ever do. Right? Instead of these people saying, you know what, right, it's better, right, that we have some sensible drug laws, right, rather than us spending, because imagine if the drug business is worth 2 trillion. So what is the fight against it worth? Because these guys are spending trillions as well. Worldwide, they're spending trillions as well on the fight against it. And you know what that does? You know all that does? All that does, right, is make the drugs world more violent. Right? The more you stiffen up the drug laws, right, is the more violent the drug world will be. Because that makes the drugs more expensive. Okay? There's a knock-on effect all the way. Right? And the stupidity of so many governments around the world, there's just utter stupidity, right, to not say, you know what, actually, look, we're going to control this. We're going to control this, because then at least, yeah, you could put like age limits, right? And then a 13-year-old, right, taking crack, right? If they could go to a chemist and buy what they need to buy, they can't buy it because their ass would be too young. Okay, so they wouldn't be able to buy it until they was 18 or 21. All right, so you'd kill off so much of the underground market. You'd kill it all off, the underground market. And you might say, well, yeah, but there'd be people out there who want to sell to those 12, 13, or 14 and 15-year-olds. Yeah, but you know something, yeah? That would involve a much more heavy sentence, because that would mean, right, that you have set up shop to particularly do that. Okay? So that's not going to go down well for you at all. right? And I can tell you, right, there are no drug dealers out there, right, who would take risks like that. None of them would take risks like that. No way. Right? Would someone say, you know what, yeah, I'm setting up so I can just sell to the underage market. You would be fucking crazy. Right? You'd be a Brexiter. Stupid. just, I'm just joking. I'm not really. But yeah, you know, you would be absolutely crazy to do something like that. So if they were to decide, you know what, we're going to embrace what is going on in the world, right? Because you know they already allow you to have the world's biggest drug anyway. Everyone's got it in there. Everyone's got it in their house, and everyone's got it all in their food. So they already allow you to take that anyway, which is sugar, by the way, right? Sugar kill. How much people of diabetes? Sugar does kill. Okay, so you know, so they already allow, and then there's alcohol, right? You could take a minimal amount, and you're not allowed to drive your car. So that just shows you how dangerous that is. Okay, so you know, so there's stuff what they allow you to there's stuff what they allow you to take. Do you know what I mean? And then there's stuff what they deem to be illegal. But you know, then if you go into the House of Parliament, right, pure cocaine use in there. Right, Lindsay Hall today has got to go and call in the police, right, with sniffer dogs. Right, so they've had all weekend. They're talking about this. They've been talking about this all weekend, right? That you know, obviously, people have gone in there and swabbed up the place, right, to find out what's going on in there, right, and swabbed up the toilets and all them things. There, yeah, there's been like loads of drug use found up in there, right? So you know, so these are things, yeah. These are things that it's virtually impossible. No, it is impossible to stop these things. Do you know what I mean? Remember a few years ago, yeah, how much politicians couldn't wait to tell us how much drugs they're taking. Michael Gove with his cocaine and crack parties. Right? People walking across India or Afghanistan smoking opium. Right? This one had a joint. This one had a line. They couldn't wait to tell you. A few years ago. So, and you think to yourself, what the fuck is all this? This is just it's all nonsense. They've had these drug laws, right, for what? I think about 60 years now. Some I might be. I think, right. That's not how long the fight against drugs has been going. Right? It's been over 50 years anyway. Right? And you think to yourself, you're still in the same fucking place. You haven't got anywhere. Right? Hasn't it taught you? Do you know what I mean? You know, because they just think to themselves, you know, what we're going to do is we're going to try exactly the same thing that we've tried before. And now we're going to, we're going to take away people's passports, or they're going to take away their driver's license. That bullshit. Do you know what I mean? Think to yourself, seriously? But anyway, look. So, Brexit. I don't know if you know. Hold on. You know what? I was gonna speak about flipping George Freeman and Dominic Raab, but I'll do that later because just them two are just idiots. But look, Fraser. I don't know if you know Fraser Nelson. Right? Fraser Nelson. Was I right to support Brexit? If this is global Britain, I'm starting to wonder. Do you know what I mean? Right? And you think to yourself, seriously? You know, these are people who push for Brexit, right? But he now realises, right, there's no Brexit bonuses. There's no sunlit uplands. He now realises this now, when it's too fucking late, right? When these people have made us leave the EU, right? And now they're just realising, right? You know, if this is global Britain, do you know what I mean? We've already got global Britain. Had it already. Had it all the time. Do you know what I mean? Right? But he wonders now, he knows now that he's made a mistake pushing for this Brexit. Pushing and pushing and pushing. And all they've done, yeah, is just managed to just fuck the country over. Right? You know, over 16,000 pigs have been culled. Over 16,000. right, and not gone into the food chain. But you know what they're doing, right? They're importing cheaper meats, right, from in the EU, and they've set up deals to import cheaper meats from obviously from Australia and from New Zealand. So where's that leave our global farmers? Where's that leave them? Because most of our farmers, right, was feeding this market, right? But you know how much of our pig, so many of our pig farms have already gone. They're already gone because they're out of business already. So I mean, over 16,000 culled, right, and just buried, right. And that's it, done. Do you know what I mean? Don't go into the food chain, So you just think to yourself, this is global Britain. That's it, right. And the French have told Britons, right, they've warned them, don't be overstaying in France, because if you overstay, you're going to get some fines and we're going to deport your ass back to Britain. So the French have just said, don't be thinking about staying, overstaying, right? Because you can stay 90 days in 180, right? Because we're a third country now, right? So British people who have got a house in France, right? I think if they haven't got French citizenship, right, then they can only stay over there for 90 days. And the French have warned now. You know what? Yeah, we're going to start fining and deporting your ass. That's it. Well, global Britain, eh? Anyway, guys, this is By Any Means Necessary. I'm DMC John Ribs. It was really nice to speak to you guys. Comments below.